Dying Light the Beast is a staggering achievement, recapturing the series' spirit and elevating it tenfold. The result is a game that, while occupying a much tighter space, manages to feel more alive than Haran or Villador combined. Techland isn't reinventing the wheel here, but by revitalizing its own playbook, the Beast is Dying Light in its prime. A sense of propulsive urgency pushes me through Dying Light the Beast, and it's not just because I'm psyched to see more Kyle Crane. When I'm not playing it, I find myself thinking about it. About the grisly fleshline cave pulsating with quiet kinetic danger. About the one high-level side quest that wants me to hunt some creature called a Yaga in the dead of night. About the people and places I run into while scaling the leafy urban wasteland of Castor Woods, each with an often heart-rending story of survival to complement Kyle's own journey through hell and back. Dying Light the Beast is a stunningly refined action horror experience on every level. Improved nighttime terrors, traversal, and visual fidelity are a handful of notable evolutions since the days of Dying Light 2. But most of all, I'm hypnotized by how Techland pulls off such a rich story across 20 or so main quests and drives it towards a bombastic, immensely satisfying finale. Even the side missions feel transformative, not only to this game, but to the evolving face of Dying Light as a whole. After 52 hours in Castor Woods, I agree with franchise director Timon Smektala on this one. The Beast really is Dying Light 3. Dying Light the Beast picks up roughly 13 years after the events of 2016's Dying Light the Following DLC, which saw Kyle turned into a sentient volatile. Having been captured from Haran, transported to an alpine facility, and subjected to torturous experimentation by order of Marius Fisher, aka the Baron, a big pharma nepo baby tyrant, because what's a survival horror game without one of those, Kyle escapes with the help of rogue scientist Olivia. But they're not the only ones who made a run for it. If the standard cohort of undead masses wasn't enough, the once placid valley of Castor Woods is now crawling with freakish experiments called chimeras, whose blood, when injected, enhances Kyle's own latent abilities. No more mushroom snarfing a la Dying Light 2. The bulk of this game is spent hunting down all 8 hulking monstrosities, extracting their DNA, and getting Kyle juiced up for a final confrontation with the Baron. It's impossible to overstate the importance of the hero of Haran's grand return. Roger Craig Smith reprises the role to perfection, and thanks to all the third-person cinematics showcasing Kyle's rugged good looks and action man combat skills, the guy receives full movie star treatment. I know fan service when I see and hear it, but in this case, it is absolutely warranted. Dying Light the Beast feels like a love letter to fans new and old, penned by a passionate team of developers that count themselves among us. What starts as a surface-level revenge mission develops into something more visceral as Kyle grapples with his newfound surroundings of Castor Woods. "I'm in Europe?" he screeches incredulously down the radio, and the survivors who still cling to life there. These survivors and their experiences are some of my favorite things about the Beast. From a father driven mad by guilt to a brother's plight to say goodbye, an elderly woman's last wishes, and a psychedelic trip into Kyle's PTSD-addled psyche, I'd find myself halfway through a side quest wondering how on earth something this gut-wrenching could be optional. With gripping voice acting and animation across the board, it's hard not to get invested in the Beast's side narratives. Life and death exist in curious harmony here, with each story giving Kyle further reason to dismantle the Baron's chokehold over Castor Woods, reasons other than pure vengeance. One of the Beast's greatest assets is that all of its side content is delivered at an approachable pace, progressively unlocked between key mainline chapters so none of it feels overwhelming. It's evidence of Techland's push to slim down the content bloat many of us struggle to contend with in Dying Light 2. By narrowing its aperture considerably, every mission feels weighty, fleshed out, and integral to the overall experience. It also means that the character level cap of 15 is perfectly achievable in a single playthrough, without needing to clear every single power relay, dark zone, or safe zone. Additional optional challenges to clear on the map that can sometimes be part of side quests. quests. To find all these side quests, lore tapes, and tasty local recipes, I have to fight an awful lot of undead. It's just as well that Dying Light the Beast sports the most brilliant combat in the series' 10-year history. Much like the last two games, weapons can be looted or crafted if you have the correct blueprint. There's an array of weapon mods at your fingertips too, as long as you have crafting components to hand. It's easy to find a weapon you like and stick to it, but the beauty of the combat system here is how you're never locked into a particular playstyle. Then there's Kyle's Beast Mode ability, which builds up as he takes and deals damage, and is an excellent way to clear hordes or take a nasty chunk out of a chimera in a pinch. When I say take a chunk, I do mean it literally. The amount of disgusting gore is an absolute delight, but for a different reason to something like Dead Island 2. The Beast gore isn't theatrical, it's a work of painstaking anatomical realism that you'd miss if you didn't stop to admire Kyle's handiwork. Techland brings its A-game when it comes to crafting a densely interactive photorealistic world, from glistening guts to ice cream sunsets along the snow-capped vista, and it's almost always a joy to experience. I say almost, because while I find the Beast parkour to be beautifully fluid and intuitive most of the time, fear not, yellow paint haters, a faint chalky white residue is the most you'll see while scaling cliffs and the like. I'd throw my hands up in defeat when faced with the grappling hook. Unless you're a top-tier platformer with stellar depth perception, aka not me, you're likely to have a bit of an odd time with it. You can't climb the rope, a function that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has drilled into my brain as an expectation. Instead, it functions more like Peter's web in Marvel's Spider-Man or Harley's Traversal in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, in that you're meant to chain swing across gaps, attaching and detaching the hook as you go. This takes a lot of timing and dexterity, two things I personally lack. The upside here is that I counted specifically one safe spot and power relay apiece that required it as a must. That's because from combat to traversal, stealth and beyond, Dying Light the Beast is a playful sandbox of horror and mayhem, with a surprising amount of depth to each and every situation. Even if, personally, a lot of those horrors were in flinging myself around on a bit of rope. It might have started life as a DLC, but as I climb the tallest structure in Castor Woods and look out across the valley, I'm grateful that Dying Light the Beast exists as a discrete experience. Grappling hook woes and all, few studios are able to pull off a return to form with as much integrity and ingenuity as Techland has here. Not only does the Beast stand confidently as a beautifully written and excellently paced action-adventure with the perfect blend of thrills, chills, and gruesome kills alike, it sends a clear message to its fans. We hear you, we understand you, and we're not done with you yet. We give Dying Light the Beast 4.5 stars out of 5. So, will you be diving back into the grisly Dying Light universe? Have you played the other titles? And what are your thoughts on the Beast? Let us know, and stick with GamesRadar for everything you need to know on 2025's biggest games.